possible. Listen to that. It is possible. Here we go. Hey, good afternoon. It is our Thank God It's Friday edition of Live from Seattle, 8:20 a.m. The Word. I'm Michelle Mendoza, your friend in the afternoon. Get ready to turn your radios down because it's going to get loud and it's going to get rowdy because we got some sports fans here and it is time to talk. Here it goes. Wait for it. Sports!
Seahawks! Yeah! Sports!
Kraken.
Yes, it is.
Kraken.
There we go, guys. It is time to sports it up, and we've got people sitting on people's laps here. It's so full at the round table. No one's sitting on mine, and I'm not sitting on anybody's. I just want to make that really clear. All right, so we've got we've got a full round table today, and I'm going to introduce you real quick here. We've got veteran sports reporter Rich Hallstrom right here in the Great Northwest, official 12th man. We have with us, he is a pastor, he is a coach, he is a chaplain, he's a husband, he's a cool guy. I mean, he's, well, whatever he is, he's Garrett Payne, that's for sure. And we're so glad to have him with us. Sports writer and photographer Brent Baker. We have with us the one and only, he's our villain, but man, what an awesome, godly, wonderful brother in the Lord villain that we have with us, Chris Brown. That's right. He's the most chillin' villain. He is a producer, really cool guy, but he's got an out-of-town view, so we call him the villain. We have with us our sports authority, Joshua McMillan. He is also our man on the street, and we have with us, haven't heard from him in a while, he is part of the NFL Hall of Fame, a longtime player, longtime coach. He has joined us today, Tom Fisher. Hey, Tom, glad to have you with us today. And we're going to have up just a bit later at MyMichelleLive. You can watch all of this happen on our Zoom recording. So we're recording it now on Zoom. Fellas, thanks for joining us today. So much to talk about. Let's just take it on right now. How about them Seahawks? Hello. What a game against the Falcons. That rocked. I'm going to go right to you, Tom. What did you see that you liked, and what are some things that we may need to work on? Fish. All right. Anyone else want to weigh in on the great game? Josh.
Yeah, I got a couple takeaways from that. One, Russell Wilson, he's not human, as we found out. He was nearly perfect on the day. The only missed passes he had, a couple of them were drops from DK Metcalf, who did redeem himself later.
One sack? Was it just one sack?
I think he got sacked a couple of times.
Was it?
I'm not really going to put that on him.
Three times. Where was I? Was I getting popcorn?
Yeah, the first play of the game.
Well,
first play of the game was great.
Yeah, that brings me to a couple of my other thoughts. One, the left side of the line looked great, of course. I mean, you got Dwayne Brown over there. Ethan Pochik, I loved watching him at center. He's aggressive. He gets to the next level. He plays through the whistle. It was awesome. D. Lewis had some get up and go, had his rookie problems. I have my questions about Brandon Shell coming in on the right tackle position. So we'll see how that position goes throughout the year. That one's going to be interesting. He let, like, it was the first sack of the game. He let go right by him. And it seemed like he had a hard time containing that right side of the field. And I know he can get covered up by a tight end. That helps, but that's going to be something to watch throughout the year. The obvious thing right now is Jamal Adams is the man. I mean, he was awesome. He was all over the field. He had sacks. He had coverage. He was everywhere.
He's on the injured list. Did you guys see that? He's on the injured list. How's that going to affect us? Just was reading that news. Someone look it up right now. Confirm it for me. But how's that going to affect us as we take on the Pats this weekend? first home opener. Whoop.
Honestly, I think that it wouldn't be too much unless it's a serious injury, which it's probably a practice injury that he'll be okay from. A lot of those things, like the veteran guys, they put on there just to give him a day of rest. Bobby Wagner gets that plenty of times. And by the way, Bobby Wagner, also the man, having him and Jamal Adams in the middle of the field. I mean, my gosh, what a defensive duo, having players like that at your second and third levels. Awesome.
Rich Hallstrom.
It's Jamal's elbow, just to let you know.
Okay, his elbow. All right. Well, so he can't do the COVID elbow thing, right? Darn. Go ahead, Rich.
Obviously, as Josh said, Bobby Wagner and Adams led the way for the defense that rallied to the ball on almost every single play. Once again, the Seahawks give up a lot of yards passing, garbage yards in the game, but now with a thrower, they are 8-0. This is a really interesting stat. 8-0 in the Pete Carroll era when they give up more than 400 yards passing. So stats don't always tell the story. Seahawks win on the scoreboard. They make all the important plays. Russell Wilson showed that he's one of the best 3 quarterbacks in the NFL, without a doubt.
But what was it that Belichick said about him? That he's underrated, and you gotta know that he is.
Very, very
That's true.
It's interesting.
That's true. He's never.
Go ahead, Chris.
It's still inconceivable to me that he's never even received an MVP vote.
Even one.
Not one.
Yeah, well,
Now he got Player of the Week this week, so.
Even our villain is weighing in on this in agreement. So
It's Chris's fault. It's Chris's fault because he arranged it so Russell Wilson would never get a vote. It's Chris's fault.
I'm a villain.
Man, I love Russell Wilson, and that I tried to get him in Baltimore, and I'm still jealous.
Hold on.
I got a villain take though right here, and the villain take is that yes, that was a beautiful game, beautiful win versus a team that you're familiar with the coach, and therefore you're going to have a little bit of inside scoop on their scheme, and they're not the best defense that you'll see in the first quarter of the season. So this week, now you're going to get a test. Now we're going to see what those Seahawks are made of, because that right tackle is going to be exploited by Belichick, who was being sincere when he said, Russell Wilson is a wonderful quarterback. He was pouring the accolades on. So he's being sincere. He's also saying, I'm going to come after him. That's what he said. So.
Okay. Yeah, I get you there. As we look to play the Patriots in our home opener, it is really exciting. Garrick, what's kind of funny to me? You and I are soccer fans, and it's really weird to me when you watch the other football, American football, and you have this big lead, and then they're okay giving up a couple of scores because it's only about the big win, right? And I think we've talked about this. It is always really odd to me because I'm so into soccer too, that it's like it's not, the goal differential is not that big a deal. So you just want them to annihilate, kind of like the Sounders did in the last game. And then tonight we're going to be taking on LAFC. And speaking of underrated, I guess the Sounders are not the favorite. What's up with that?
Well, and I love the fact that we're not the favorite, because the Sounders, I think, prefer that position. And of course, the big news for the Sounders is the fact that we re-signed yesterday I almost said Brad Evans.
I know, right? And we're going to get to that in just a moment.
Yeah, right.
Before we get off football, though, Tom Fisher, who's with us, he's in the NFL Hall of Fame. He's a coach and actually my buddy from high school. We've been friends a long time, Fish. Something that I wanted to talk about, we didn't have a bunch of preseason games. In the past, Tom, we've talked about how
hey, if you guys can be nice, I'm taking your controller.
And
I'm going to send you to your rooms.
We sometimes not ready.
Be nice over there and quiet.
Have you
snap my fingers? That means you're being too loud.
NFL matchups, some of the problems that can arise from not having a preseason? All right. All right, guys, real quick, let's wind up the NFL talk right now. Anything else before we move on?
Well,
Yeah,
I just, oh, go ahead, Josh.
Okay. I was gonna say I loved that during the
Guys are all too
broadcast. One of them was saying what the Falcons want to do is they want to stop the run and they want to make Russell Wilson throw it. I even made a tweet. It was like Russell Wilson be like, oh, okay, if you want me to, like,
All right.
twist my arm, I guess I'll throw on you. Oh no.
And boy, will he. We're looking forward to
MVP,
that.
MVP.
MVP. There
Well,
you go.
Well,
And for me,
there's
it's
somebody who
just
might
that
have a.
we've always had this rivalry since the Super Bowl, of course, with New England, but now with Cam Newton going there. And, you know, there's kind of, I've always just kind of seen that comparison between Wilson and Newton. And so it's going to be really interesting just to see, you know that Newton's going to bring his A game. He's going to want this game like no other. And I'm just excited, believing that we're going to be able to shut him down.
All right, guys.
Another
we
quarterback with an MVP to his name too. So
There
time
you
to take him
go.
down.
Right.
Uh-huh. All right, we got our blue and green. That's right. So, gentlemen, we are live from Seattle. More sports talk to come. 8:20 a.m. The Word. All right, here we go. Live from Seattle, 8:20 a.m. The Word. Welcome. It is our third quarter. It is our sports time out. We have our round table full to the hilt of the coolest guys talking sports. Rich Hallstrom, Garrick Payne, Brent Baker, Chris Brown, Joshua McMillan, Tom Fisher, and your humble host, Michelle Mendoza. And on live from Seattle today, so much to talk about. Isn't it cool, guys, that we're actually getting to talk about sports? Remember that dry season we had? 2020 has not.
I watched
been-
Marble Run.
We had to talk about NASCAR.
We had to talk about NASCAR and marbles. That's what we had. That was great.
Hey,
No,
Marvel
she's
One
not
was
kidding.
great.
But
She
no
is not
esports. Thank God. No
No
esports.
esports.
But guys, we've got the Stanley
Hey, they're
Cup.
upcoming. International's coming.
Stanley Cup is facing off with Dallas and Tampa, and that was a lot of fun to watch those teams, knowing that the Krakens are going to be part of the mix-up coming in to a sports arena here in Seattle soon. So it's going to be real fun watching that. And boy, those guys, you know, I was watching the New York Islanders yesterday, and man, you know, they really pulled and they were going for it. But interesting though, we have a couple of Southern teams that are going to the Stanley Cup final. Chris,
You sound surprised. You sound surprised.
You guys don't even
What-
have ice
what-
down there.
I saw ice one time. I did see ice, and then I came out of the store, and you know. But listen,
And he's in there with his hockey stick there in his puck in the ice section going, yeah, we got the South has risen. There you go.
the South has risen. Oh no!
Stanley Cup. Any thoughts on the Stanley Cup, guys?
Tampa Bay wins.
Okay.
Tampa Bay wins. One of the most successful franchises in the NHL right now.
Got it.
Yeah.
Let's talk college for a little bit, fellas. Big Ten football gearing up. There's some movement happening. Rich?
Well, Big Ten football has decided they're going to get back into the mix. Now the Big Ten has to decide, hey, when are we going to start our season? Are we going to have enough games to qualify for the college football playoff? And now Pac-12, it's your move. Could you be the only one left out?
Mhm.
All right, Brent?
Well, I was just going to say, it seems like the Pac-12 has been beholden to whatever the Big Ten does. The Big Ten made the first move to call off their season,
Point.
and the Pac-12 followed suit, and now the Big Ten is saying it's time for us to come back, and the Pac-12 is like, oh, let's scramble and talk to the governors in California and Oregon and see if we can get the health restrictions lifted. If you're the only major conference not playing, Pac-12 has a big image problem as it is. This is not helping.
Right.
Yeah. It's not
Well, Larry
helping.
Scott's got to do something to earn that $5 million because everyone
Hey,
knows.
Rich,
Yeah.
He's not.
Rich and Larry
He
Scott.
won't.
Larry Scott's one of Rich's best friends on the earth. They have tea every Tuesday. He loves Larry Scott, just like a brother.
Larry Scott.
Hey,
Larry Scott is the worst commissioner in college sports.
Oh,
Ouch. Well, that's not. He's not inviting
Preach.
you over at his house.
Hallelujah.
yeah. Here we go.
He ain't going to his
He's
house
coming
for
on next
Sunday
week,
dinner.
right?
$5 million.
Address your emails to
$5 million.
C. Rich.
$5 million
Oh, boy.
for almost nothing. $5 million.
jeez.
I mean,
You can't
look.
get your team into the college football playoff.
Now you guys can watch
boy.
some of the fun that is going on beyond radio. If you go to MyMichelleLive a little bit later, you'll be able to watch all of this. Our Zoom is recorded, and you can watch Josh kind of disappear, which is kind of weird.
I, th- I think the villain is. I think the villain is getting ready to hit me all the way from
right.
North
All
Carolina.
right, come on.
No,
villain.
actually, you know what? No, you know what? I'm gonna hit the Big Ten because, hey, listen, you chumps. All right, listen. Now you gotta stay off, stay off. But they saw how it's going, and that teams are actually making it into, and they're like, well, we want something because we want to get our rankings. Listen, when you come in October 24th. That's like teams will play like 5, maybe even 6 games by then. And then they're like, okay, guys, let's join. Hey, we want to listen. They better be at the bottom of the rankings right then, boy. Don't take my boys. My boys are number 12. By then, you never know where Carolina's going to be. I don't want to hear anything from Ohio State. Earn it. Earn
I
it.
wish Chris would just speak his mind once in a while.
Yeah, tell us how you really feel.
Hey, Tom Fisher.
Hey, Chris, have you taken your blood pressure medicine this morning?
Tom Fisher, I want to get you in on this. Talk not just college, but you are assistant coach there up until with a semi-pro team. And I want to know what are you guys looking at for this next year? Are you guys going to be up and playing? What do you think about college? Weigh in here. Oh wow!
Wow.
Crazy. And you know, okay, and you know what's sad about that? And I've been up to his practices, and he's not lying. I'm telling you. But what's sad is that these athletes are missing out. These athletes are really missing out in this time in their life where they could really use a little recognition. Hey, I wanted to get to the Sounders. They're going to be taking on LAFC. We were talking about that. There's some good news that you mentioned, Garrick, that they have re-signed Brad Smith. But there was a crazy, and this is going to be our face-off topic, there was a crazy faux pas by the Seattle Times. Now, the Seattle Times, they're reporting sports and they should know what they're doing. And what they showed when they gave that big announcement is they showed a picture of Brad Evans. I mean, is this a case of all white guys look alike? Because Garrick, you pointed out that Brett looks a little bit like Brad Smith and Brad Evans too. Guys, I want to face off on this.
Well, it doesn't surprise me, Michelle. If it's the Seattle Times priorities, and they have the right to make priorities, but to not say that the Seahawks and the Sounders are two of the best franchises in town and deserve that kind of treatment, that's not professional.
No, they're always treated like they just don't matter. But really, and I'm going to get controversial for a second. If we were talking about Jovan Jones, and then we showed a picture of Delem there because they're two black guys. People would come unglued. So honest mistake, unprofessional, a case of all white guys look the same. Garrick brings the pang. I like that, Chris. You have to watch our Zoom. You have to. MyMichelleLive. Anyone want to take this on?
I've got a comment here. Bringing Brad Smith back is one of the smartest moves that Garth Lagerwey has done. I mean, he is just so gifted and talented. I mean, he's got multiple caps for Australia. He is, played in the Premier League, and I mean, he's just a class act
And
in
he's
terms
got
of
that cool
his
accent. You can't lose.
the important things. You're right, but what he does dimensionally for the team is that he doesn't just add that quality cross that, but he brings in elements so that we can move players around, and it is just, it's going to be huge for the Sounders, and I don't think we can underestimate or overestimate how big this signing is.
Yeah, I think we're looking at another great season for our Seattle Sounders, Rich.
Personally, I think it's another sign of veteran leadership by the entire coaching staff, by the entire Sounders organization. They know how to get a veteran player at the proper time during the season. This is another example of that. Brad Smith is going to be this year's Chad Marshall example, like Chad Marshall was several years ago.
I've used that example. Chad Marshall, a good player, and sometimes, in my opinion, talking about Russell Wilson being underrated, I don't think he was
Exactly.
Sounders, definitely as Sounders, but I don't think we realized what glue he was to the team. And I think Brad Smith is much like that too. We were devastated when we knew that Chad was going to be leaving, so bringing back Brad Smith is maybe filling that hole a little.
Yeah, well, he not only can play at the left back position, which is where he was for us, but putting him in a
You guys laughing? This is radio, not golf.
Okay. There's a beautiful
The face
image
for radio,
of Chad
Brad
Marshall.
Smith.
Yeah,
That's Chad.
You got to see it on Zoom. You got to be there.
Yeah.
He's nowhere near as good looking as you, Michelle. Get that guy out of there. His hairstyle does not compare to yours.
But we saw when Chad left, though, the impact of it. And that was one of the things, is that I don't think everyone appreciated him until he was gone. And it left such a gaping hole in our defense. And so I think Brad has the ability. And again, his skill is great. But what it does is it just increases our depth across the field. And as a coach, you just love to have a player like that, because it opens up so many more options for you.
Garrick, I could have scored on the Sounders defense after Chad Marshall left.
Oh, ouch, 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 ouch. I think with that, we're going to get to Josh and get a little Mariners update, because it's looking good. We are chasing for second position there in the playoffs. Can you believe it? I mean, seriously. My, oh my, Joshua.
My, oh my, indeed. Yeah, the Mariners are chasing the Astros for the second spot in the AL West right now, and it's been so much fun to watch. The Mariners are right now at 22-28. The Astros are 25-25. We're right behind them. I got to say, man, this team is so much fun, and I don't know if we're going to make the playoffs or not. It's we only got a little bit left to go, but there's a chance. Either way, this has been great. And Kyle Lewis, man, did you guys see the catch? It has been compared ad nauseum to another
grand slam robbing.
The highlight of the year.
Yep. That was an amazing catch.
Something else.
Rookie of the year on this team. And it's got to make you excited for the future and what things are to come. You know, I mean, and the fact that we're even in this position, we're this close to the Astros after selling a lot of great players. You know, we got rid of a lot of people at the deadline for future prospects.
But that kind of rebuilding rocks. It rocks. Guys, we are up against the clock, and it is time for us to take our final shot. All right, this is where we go around the round table and give a quick shout out, mention. And Tom Fisher, we are going to start with you. Gear up and shoot. Yes, yes, and hallelujah, amen. Oh my goodness. All right, Chris Brown. What? What?
Did you just say whoop up on Belichick's defense? Did you just say whoop up? Okay. I mean, look, I already took down my villain sign.
You mad,
okay,
bro?
I'll just do my shout. I just do my shout out. My shout out is to this guy. Can you see on the back? Can you see that name on the back? Because
Jackson.
Did you see it? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes.
Oh?
That young man. Hey, listen, Russell Wilson only had 4 incompletions. My man Lamar only had 5 incompletions, 3 touchdowns, destroyed the Browns. And you got to understand, that's a high-power offense you saw last night. They could do nothing when the game was out of reach. In trash time, they still couldn't score. Lamar Jackson led the way. Watch out for the actual MVP.
And yo, what?
Good luck.
What? And
Good luck.
let me say, Chris is pulling though for the end of the year for the Super Bowl to be those birds over there versus the Seahawks. So you know that would be pretty awesome, guys. Pretty awesome.
Actually, y'all scare me too
Indian
much. I don't want to
football.
play y'all.
Paying me. Let's get paid.
Hey,
Garrick paid.
I have a very, very special shout out today. I have a dear high school classmate who had a nephew. He was born with a type of dwarfism. He was not expected to live past the age of 10, but he made it to age 39, and he had an open heart surgery recently. And sadly, he didn't survive after that. And I'm doing his memorial service on Sunday, but he was Mr. Seattle Sports. And he loved the Sounders. He loved especially the Mariners. And so my special shout out goes to Josh Bates.
Prayers for Josh.
Hats off to him. Hats off.
Brent.
Mine's also kind of a sad one. The longtime high school basketball coach at my alma mater, Mercer Island, Ed Peppel, died this week. He coached at the same school for over 40 years, had 950 wins. Probably the person most associated with him that people have heard of is Quinn Snyder, who coaches the Utah Jazz now. I had him. I wasn't good enough to play for him, but I am in PE, and he was just a great guy and treated you the same whether you were an all-star player or just a kid loving to play the game. So shout out to Mr. Peppel and everything he did for the really basketball in this state during his life.
Rich Hallstrom, final shot.
Final shot, Seahawks 20-10 on Sunday. Cam Newton, a career 2-6 against the Seahawks.
Joshua.
Hashtag the real MVP. I'm just going to go one more time to Kyle Lewis because, man, that was great. And it's been compared to a certain other young player that came up in Seattle and had a certain other grab robbing a home run. Some might know Ken Griffey Jr., little known name. And I don't know, maybe it's too early for that, but certainly Rookie of the Year, Kyle Lewis looks every bit the part of a future star in this league. And he's a star right now. I'm excited to see his future.
Save
Okay,
those cards.
My shout out is not to something great, it's to something weird. And it has to do with a German soccer team that lost 37-0 37
What?
mil. You know why? Because of social distancing, because they wanted to make sure they weren't touching or getting near the other team. They only had 7 players on the team to have proper social distancing. So my shout out goes to what happened and why are we so crazy? What
They
on
should have
earth?
called me to play
Why play
goal.
the game if you're gonna do that? Just go home. What are you doing? That's a football score, like a real football.
I know. Oh, and with
Ooh.
no kidding. And you wonder why we call him the villain. Gentlemen, thanks for hanging out with us today. Fish, thanks for putting up with us. It's so good to have you on. You're awesome. And Josh and his new puppy, you can see right there, Lemon.
That's a
Lemon.
puppy.
You can see, yeah, you can, well, you can see on Zoom. Go to MyMichelleLive.com. Stay with us. We'll get you plugged into the movies. We're live from Seattle, 8:20 a.m. The Word.
All right. We're still
Ooh, we
recording.
made it.
We're still recording Zoom.
Lemon, the official mascot of Sports Timeout.
Yeah,
That's right.
All right. I gotta
The
jump
Zoom-
off, guys. See you later.
All right, bye, Josh.
Okay, see you,
Hi, Josh.
Josh. The Zoom call's still on. I'm going to just show a little picture of Josh Bates here and his beautiful wife, Alicia. So that's Josh. So pray for his family. I'm doing the memorial service on Sunday at 1 o'clock. So say a little prayer for us. It's
And for her heart
but
must be
it's a
broken.
it's
They're
a sports.
beautiful.
They are truly, truly beautiful. I got to spend some time with her and the family on Tuesday, and it was really tough. They had a plan that they were going to go to visit every major league ballpark, and so she's gonna my friend, her aunt suggested that maybe she have a bobblehead made or something like that, and then she can still go and visit with him.
That is a fabulous idea. And if she needs
'Cause
a
for
new
their
friend to
wedding-
go with, I'll go.
Oh, there you go. For their wedding cake, they had bobbleheads of each other made, and anyway. So
What
that's
a great
that's
idea. She
Josh
should
and
do
Alicia.
awesome.
that. And you know what?
Yeah.
I think it would be kind of fun for our segment if she is at a new place for her to take a selfie with her and just a way to
absolutely.
continue to honor him. And I think that would be really neat. And I would love
That would
to
be super special.
Yeah, to do that.
That would
Okay.
be awesome.
To give him a legacy and to give her a chance to honor her husband.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's tough. All right.
All right. Okay, I'm going to stop the Zoom recording now. Chad Marshall. See you, Chad, buddy.
Where'd you have that picture of me?
I love it. All right, guys. God bless.